Very good evening to one and all. We'll start the session with a small prayer. Gently close your eyes. If you're sitting, try to relax yourself and sit properly with your shoulders collapsed, with your back being erect, spine having all its natural curves. Relax your legs and arms. Keep your head in a position very neutral, not jetting out. Breathing. Shift your attention to the breathing. Aligning yourself bodily, aligning yourself mentally. Observe the communion of body and mind in this small, short wavelength called breath. We'll gently chant three Omkaras. Inhale slowly. Om. Just listen to the mantra. Yogena chittasya padena vacham malam sharirasya cha vaidyakena योपाकरोत्तं प्रवरं मुनीनां पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि आबाहुपुरुषाकारं शङ्खचक्रासिधारिणं सहस्रशिरसं श्वेतं प्रणमामि पतञ्जलिम्. Hari Om. Gently rub your both palms, generate heat applied to your eyes, cheeks, front and back of your neck. With a few blinks, you shall open your eyes. In the previous chapter, in the previous episode, we analyzed how a sage of steady wisdom was free from attachments, free from anger, free from fear. And he worked on his desires. Yada sarve pramuchante kama yesta hridistitaha atamarthyo amruto bhavati atra brahma samushnute, says Kathopanishad. A man, a mortal man becomes immortal when he renounces all the desires that is projecting in his mind. So we now have understood that we have to work upon the mental projections, which Patanjali, as I was saluting Patanjali, which Patanjali perfectly called them as vritti, vrittayaha. Vrittis are supposed to be the whirlpools that we create in the mind. What is the nature of a whirlpool? When you swim in a river, there are natural whirlpools in the river. They're always circular in nature. They don't have an end point. Huh? Circle has no beginning, circle has no end. So when you are in that whirlpool of thoughts, whirlpool of projections, you're caught inside it. Even if you're a great swimmer, even if you're a novice swimmer, you get caught into that whirlpool. Nobody can win that whirlpool because whirlpool is the master. It takes everybody inside. So Patanjali gives the right term, vritti. Vrittis are also called as inhibitions of mind. That which does not make you progress. That which brings fall, befalls you. Now, is the mind worse? Do we have to kill the mind? Do you have to go to a no mind state, like a nomad? Huh? Is this the question? To become a sage or to become a yogi? Is that what we want? No. He says, Yogaha chitta vritti nirodhaha. There is vrittis. There are vrittis in the chitta, but you have to access mastery over this chitta vritti. There are inhibitions in your mind. There are downsides of the mind. But it does not mean because of the downside of the mind, you hurt your child. Hmm? Just because you see your child is insincere, you don't just befriend him. You don't ask him to go out of the house. No, you take care of it. You take care of him, right? Similarly, your mind is a child. How do you take care of your mind? To regulate, control over is the right action. You master over your mind. No mind should dominate you. When the child becomes a rotten child, when it starts to be absurdly, obsessively crying, obsessively hurtful, obsessively dominating, not ready to listen, that child is a rotten child. Yeah. So we don't want a mind like that. A yogi or a sage is supposed to work on his mind, not make it rotten, not make it completely, absolutely non-existential. You don't kill the child. Yeah. So there is no mind state. There is a state of complete mastery of mind, which we call as purnata. Purnata means holistic, a state where wholesomeness prevails. Hence, Krishna is constantly taking this term, sthita prajna, sthita prajna, sthita prajna. The awareness is steady. The awareness is steady. The awareness becomes steady only when there is wholesomeness prevailing. With nothing, you can't bring, nothing begets nothing. If you kill the child, you don't get anything. Yeah. From something comes out something. So Krishna says, why don't you work on that something? Why that something can be the whole. Yeah. So the whole begets the wholesomeness. Patanjali and Krishna speaks the same language. Krishna was 5,000 years ago. Patanjali is 200 BC. Uh, what is 200 BC? Some 22,000, some 4,000 years. No, 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 no. I'm wrong. Hmm. It should be around 7,000 years, huh? If my calculations are okay. I'm very poor in it. Anyway, although they live in different centuries, they lived in different centuries, they all speak the same language because of the basis. The basis is our Vedas, the Upanishads. The text is a revelation. It is not a written text. They are revelation of the seers. Hence, they were never written. They were spread by word of mouth. That adds the more potency in the spread of the wisdom. Now, here we were finishing in that line. We are moving onward to the next shloka, 2.58. Yada samharate chayam Yada samharate chayam Kurmongani vasarvashaha Kurmongani vasarvashaha Indriyanindriyarthebhyaha Indriyanindriyarthebhyaha Tasya prajna pratishtita Tasya prajna pratishtita. You see the catchphrase? Tasya prajna pratishtita. It is there in every shloka. Whenever we see about the Sthita Prajna Lakshana, Sthita Prajna characteristics, there in him the awareness is stable. Tasya prajna pratishtita. In him the awareness is stable. Or that is called steady awareness. In whom? In the previous verses, we got to understand the yogi works upon his desires, that the yogi works upon his attachment. Now he is taking one step further. One step further, the root cause of all desires are attachments. What is the root cause of all attachments? He's taking there. He's leading us there. Now people come and ask me, why am I attached so much? Why am I so much into outcomes? Why am I so much into goals and actions all the time? If I don't get them, if I don't get the prescribed pattern of how I have mentally picturized my life to be, why am I anxious? That is attachment. That is attachment to life, abhinivesha. Krishna goes one step further. Go to the root cause of all attachments. What is that? In the other shloka, he mentions this very clearly, but here he is mentioning in a very, very sophisticated manner, very subtle manner. In the coming shlokas, you will understand what is the root cause of all attachments. Dhyayataha vishayan pumsan. He says continuous thinking about objects, continuous contact with sense objects. Sense organs always need sense objects. Tongue needs cup of hot water. Eyes needs something to relax, something to entertain. Ears need something. Intellect needs something. Mind needs something. All sense organs. What you were mentioning, only sense organs being 5. I've learned only 5. Manaha shashtaha indriyani, says Shankaracharya. Mind is the 6th indriya, 6th sense organ. Why? Because he's the king of all. When you ask yourself, you will understand this. You've been reading so closely, very attentively, because you have an examination that you have to give. Hmm? You're very much engaged. Your eyes are here, your ears, your mind, everything is completely equipped with the study, with the lesson. Yeah. Somebody comes up and says hi. What happens? Instinctively, you say hi and then go back to your studies. Later on, when they say that I came to your house and you were busy, then you say, no, did you? Did you really come? No. What happened there? Although your sense organs had the contact of the sense object, you had seen the person, although you have verbally said hi and, greeted him or her, your mind wasn't there. Hence, mind is the king of all sense organs. Involvement of mind is very, very important. Even if you eat, even if you drink, even if you hear, even if you see something, even if the skin feels, certain people feels start to feel cold more when the other says, okay, it is very cold today. Oh, is it? Yes, 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 it is colder. Why? The skin also appreciates there is coldness, but the mind has indulged into that coldness feeling. When mind indulges the feeling, the extent of the sense reaction is intensified. Hence, king. Hence, he is the king. Now, coming back to the meaning of the shloka, yada samharate chayam. Just as a kurma, tortoise, when feeling the encounters of risk or danger, how he withdraws his head, tail, and all limbs inside. Similarly, the yogi withdraws all the sense organs from the sense objects. What is this? Aarti, any idea? What is this process called in yoga? Any idea? How does Patanjali put this term to be? It is called the pratyahara, the state of pratyahara, where there is complete cessation of contact of sense organs with the sense objects. What does this mean? Does this mean yogi doesn't eat? Does this mean yogi live a life, a rugged life? No. Yogi leads a holistic life. He is a householder. If he is a householder, he can be a yogi. Not necessarily he has to be a sannyasi, a renunciate. He can live a householder's life, but having screened all his sense objects away from the sense organs, he enjoys the pleasure, but he does not indulge in it. When he indulge into the pleasure, there is trouble. Krishna again says, constant thinking, repetitive contact of sense objects is the root cause of attachment. Why are we attached? Whom are we attached? First of all, that's the question. We are attached with kids, for example. We are attached with our property. I am happy when I'm home. When I get out of the house, I'm happy, I'm entertained, but still, I don't find my sleep to be good. When I'm back to my bed, I am happy, I can sleep. When I see my kids, I am happy, I am good. So what did I do? I have invested a mind frame into this house, into this kids. Okay. So without this, I cannot live. Or without this, I can strive. You know. So when you have invested this time frame into an object, into a person, you don't live peacefully. What had happened here? The I sense is being manipulated. What happens during sleep? While you sleep, all the objects of the universe is being withdrawn by the, like the tortoise. All the universe objects is withdrawn and put back to an embryonic seed stage format while you sleep. Are you in contact with that universe which is in the seed form? No. Are you in contact with that mental frame of of uh, of mental objects, a pratyaya? You're angry with someone, you're hurtful by someone, all those things. Are you in contact with that? No. Sleep is the best process of understanding samadhi. A yogi withdraws all his universe, reactions to universe, and put it in an embryonic stage, does not contact. What happens when you wake up? This is actually Nitya Pralaya concept, everyday apocalypse. Because yoga believes in creation, but more believes in this particular principle called mind is the creation. Mind projects everything and the creation is there. So while you sleep, the projection is off, the lights are off. So it's complete destruction. That is Nitya Pralaya, everyday apocalypse. What happens when we wake up? Every object, whichever object we have kept, is there with the same color, with the same flavor, with the same texture. It is back there. These are all mind's projections. When they are all mind's projections, how is it truly possible that it can please you, it can trouble you? Okay, you have a projector head. Okay, you are watching the movie in the projector head. The olden times. When you touch the lady on the wall where the lady was projected, could you feel him? Could you feel her? No. It is simply like that. They are unreal. Hence, yogi understands the fact that they are unreal. They try to see them as projection and not developing any contact. Krishna even goes to a certain extent saying that tortoise apology. Sorry, tortoise. What is that? What is that term called? It's not a anthology. What is it called? Okay, the comparison, the simile that he gives is of a tortoise. How does tortoise behave? Tortoise tries to withdraw all its limbs inside only when it understands that there is some danger. There is risk outside. This will affect my existence. Krishna rightly points out that yogi understands that all the things outside, which are just projections of my mind, which are just my child's projection, they are going to risk my inner peace. They are going to be a danger. They are going to create danger to my existence. Hence, what do? I withdraw all the sense organs from the sense objects. What is risking here? Isn't having a life, we say, have a life, enjoy life. No? Isn't having life a problem? No, it is not a problem. Having life is not a problem. Indulging is the problem. When having life, what had happened? All the time we try to indulge our eye sense into it. I am happy only with this person look. That is indulgence. I am unhappy when such circumstance is not available. That was available when I was in city X. That is not available in city Y. So, we not only enjoy pleasures, but create a structure, create a compartment in the mind saying that this is how I am pleasant, which is totally untrue. Happiness is a condition which installs not by external objects, not by people outside, not by any circumstances outside, external, but lies within. And what happens when I eat ice cream? They trigger my inner happiness. They're just triggers. Now, when we know that these are just triggers, we treat them as triggers. Modern medical science has this concept of treating patients with steroids. Yes. When does it become very important to have steroids? When the inflammation is unbearably, unstoppably exponential. Yes, usage of steroids is necessary. So that, okay, somebody gets extreme hyper skin reaction. We have to get him out of that situation. Medicines are basically steroids, the triggers. But is it wise to have steroids all the time to keep your skin safe? No. We knew it. Yada samharate cha ayam kurmo angani va sarvashaha. With your mind settled down in the heart center, withdrawing all the sense organs and put into the heart center. On the contrary, what we are doing, we have withdrawn all the sense organs, not even withdrawn, we are not in that state yet, but still, we withdraw all the sense organs and put it in the state of mind. There we have embedded many clauses. With that clauses, we restrain something, we accept something. And sometimes, in some cases, it is too severe. We don't withdraw at all. We just flow. Flow as the sense organs are pulling, we are being pulled. Now, a basic question occurs. Why do we restrain the sense organs? Why do we have to access some amount of regulation to it? We come back to the state, we come back to the term called pratyahara, an important limb of yoga. Just as asana is, just as pratyahara, pranayama is, pratyahara is also. and importantly. Why is it very important? First, we will understand what is pratyahara. Prati means toward, ahara means swallowing. When we swallow all the projections that have been projected outside toward the heart center, that is pratyahara. Now, ahara also means food, fuel. Okay. How is a sense organ being fueled? How is a cell fueled? Cell is fueled with oxygen. Hmm? Cell is fueled by good blood circulation. So oxygen and blood supply nourishes your cell. Yeah. Which one nourishes your sense organ? No, eyes also have cells. No, I'm not talking about eyes here. No? Eyes as a physiological eye. But there is something called vision, is something called fuel to the vision. No? So which fuels your sense organ? What fuels your sense organ? The mind and its constant want fuels your sense organ. Okay. Now it provides nourishment to the sense organ. The more that you read, you become wise. The more that you hear, your hearing vision is good. The more frequencies you could hear, you become a, you have a good ear hearing ability. The more keenly you can observe with all ranges of objects, very small, very large, your eye vision is good, proper, lovely. Now, what happens when I'm exposed to higher frequency sounds more? The fuel doesn't become fuel anymore. It becomes a hazard. What happens when I'm exposed to small alphabets every day? Very small alphabets. Try to read, try to read, try to read. What had happened now? The fuel had become hazard. Hazard to the vision, hazard to the hearing ability. Is this point clear? Is this point clear? It's a scientific fact. Yeah. Now, Krishna says optimum amount of utilizing that sense organ. What is being optimal here? Optimal has no range. Okay. 0 to 50. 12 to 16 is the hemoglobin level for women. No, that's we can't really do that. What is the optimal amount of utilizing the fuel? Optimal amount of utilizing the fuel is by exercising non-contact with the sense object. You're hearing, you are listening, you are reading, but there is no indulgence of eye here. There is no mind contact here. There is no heart contacting mind. There is no eye contacting with the mind. When such shield you have, you protect, your sense organs works good. I remember my nani saying, never drink hot water like this by sipping. We have brim tumblers and she always drinks with her mouth open. So that she says, too much cold, too much hot will ruin your teeth. She was 85 or 88 when she left. All her teeth were there. She didn't lose any. How did she protect? By not exposing the teeth with too much cold, too much hot. She loved ice cream. She loved having her hot drinks, but she had specific methods to eat. It is the same concept. Non-contact. This is real fueling. This is optimal usage of sense organs. This is called pratyahara. Assuming non-contact with the sense organs, sense object by the sense organs. Now, one last thing, and then I will conclude here. You can ask your questions later. Before that, did I finish explaining everything? And have, yeah, Indriyani, Indriyarthebhyah, Asya Prajnapatishtha. Yes, I finished explaining the entire shloka. One last thing that I have to make a point about is, why is this pratyahara essential? Now we know pratyahara is swallowing all the mental projections. Pratyahara fuels the sense organs in an optimal manner. And this is called tapa. Tapas. What is tapas? Tapaha in Sanskrit means to burn. What do you do on the mat? You sweat. What are you doing? You burn yourself. Why are you so keen in doing it? To access the ability unmatched which is there in your mind, which you have visualized, but to access that physically. Yeah. You do not know whether you can stand in the Vrikshasana pose for 30 seconds, but it is there mentally. Yes, I can do. Now, when you are burning yourself on the mat, you do it. You can stand there for a minute. That is called burning. And hence there is form of heat, hence you sweat. That is the tapa. Now here, what are we burning? We are burning the sense organs. When I say that I have a weakness for my sweets, I have a sweet tooth. What have I done? I have lost control with my sense organ tongue. Correct? My mind says no. Sorry, my mind never says no. My intellect says no. The mind wants the sweet. Right? Now, by following the principles of pratyahara, I am swallowing back the projection of my weakness to the sweetness. Please be with me. Please bear with me for some more moments. I am swallowing back. Thereby, I am slowly able to access that equation, that dimension of mine where the undoable becomes doable. Where I have thought this is completely not me, I can't do it. And then slowly I try to do it. I try to access control. I try to regulate my sweet intake. How am I doing? By something called tapa, vrata. I will not eat sweets on Monday. Simple. We start from here. On Mondays, even when I'm being called, I'm being invited in a dinner, even there are relishing sweets, even when there are sweets which are being um, visually and tastefully very exciting present before me, I opt not to eat. What is this? I am maintaining non-contact of sense object and sense organ. Doesn't mean it does not exist. Doesn't mean that. But I am regulating. I am accessing that control. And then slowly what happens? That Monday becomes Wednesday. Monday, Wednesday. And Monday, Wednesday becomes Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then slowly that becomes for a month, you know. All these vratas, all these penances, tapa, what does it do to your mind? It sorts of give a mental encouragement that you can achieve what is undoable. What does it give back? A sense of mastery. Mastery over the mind, mastery over the sense organs. This is called pratyahara. And in the process, we burn. Hence, it is called tapa. Hence, it is called penance. Okay. So, quickly concluding the meaning of the verse. Just like a tortoise who withdraws his limbs from outside to inside, a yogi withdraws all his sense organs from the external sense objects which are everywhere there. He is confining that to the heart center, thereby maintaining non-contact with the sense objects. In him, the wisdom is steady. Tasya prajna pratishtita. So from this shloka, we understood we should work on desires, we should work on attachments, we should also work on the contact of sense objects. Too much contact, too much hotness and coldness, you will lose your teeth. Too much contact of sense objects is bad. Too low contact is also bad. Optimal contact. Optimal contact. Hmm? Optimal contact is exercising control over. The sense object should not dominate your mind. The sense object should not dominate your existence. You gain control over. You become the master. Pratyahara is well explained in the shloka. Thank you so much for the patient hearing. Questions, please.